Addod Solutions. Add-on desires.
Welcome to Addod Solution. I am Sarla. Today's topic is punctuation. What is the importance of punctuation in English? What do you understand by punctuation? Let's learn this. So punctuation, what is the importance? Without punctuation, the sentence will not give any meaning in a written form. So in any written text, we are supposed to use punctuation. Otherwise, you will not understand. As in, when you talk, when you have a verbal communication, based on your expressions, the way you speak, where you stop, it all express the meaning what you talk. But when you write as a text, if you don't use punctuation, then that will not give a meaningful sentence. So punctuation is very important in English language. So let's understand what is this punctuation. So punctuation, just like a traffic signal, this also acts as a visual indicators. And these visual indicators will help a reader to understand the meaning of the sentence. So let us understand how many punctuation we have in English language. So punctuation are of three types: word punctuation, internal punctuation, end punctuation. Okay, so how many punctuation marks are there in word punctuation? Here we are saying that word punctuation. Within a word we have three types of punctuation marks. Let's understand this. So in word punctuation, we have capitals. The first one is capital. The second one is hyphen, which is a small dash mark, right? And the third one is apostrophe. Apostrophe. This is the mark, right? So let us understand these three punctuation, word punctuation marks, right? What is capital? Within a word we mark these punctuations. So capitals, when do we use capitals? Whenever we start a sentence, the very first letter of the sentence should be capitalized. For example, if I say, this is a boy. So when I'm starting, the first letter should be capitalized, right? This is the first point you have to understand. And whenever we are using I in the middle of the sentence, okay, we are not supposed to use a small letter, the pronoun I. Okay, when we use I as a pronoun in the middle of the line, you are supposed to use the capital I. Okay, and whenever we use the proper noun, all the proper noun are to be started with a capital. For example, if you write your name, Vijay, the first letter should be capitalized. So all human names should be capitalized. All proper nouns, for example, the names of cities, countries, the names of rivers or mountains, whatever, all the proper nouns, the first letter should be capitalized, right? Now, you should also write all the names of days, names of months, names of holy books, religions, even festivals. So all these should be, the first letter should be capitalized. For example, if I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even those should be capitalized. The first letter should be capital. If I say March, the month, so the first letter should be always capitalized. If you say the Holy Bible, the first letter should be capital. The first letter should be capital. If I say Hindus, the first letter should be capital. Okay, all religion names, the holy books names, days, months, festivals. For example, you can say Holi, the first letter should be capitalized. So whenever you use the proper nouns, you have to capitalize, okay, even including the personal noun, right? Now, whenever you use God, Lord, even this should be capitalized. Lord. Almighty. So this should be always capitalized. When we are talking about God, Lord or Almighty, in the middle of the sentence, if we use a pronoun related to God or Lord, okay, where is God? He is. When we use a pronoun related to God, again the pronoun he should be capitalized. Okay. We have to use capitals also for high ranking officials. For example, prime ministers. Prime minister. The first letter should always be capitalized. If I say the chief justice, chief should be capital, justice should be capital. Okay, chief justice. If I say the pope, P should be capital. The queen of England, the queen, Q should be capital. Inland, E should be capital. So you should make sure that all proper nouns are capitalized. And you also have, whenever we use, in the letter also, while writing letter, we start salutation. In salutation, we use dear sir. There, the first letter should be capitalized. So how will we respect in a written form? When we talk to them based on the gestures, based on the way we speak, based on the etiquette, the other person can understand the respect, how much we are showing. But in a written form, how will you show the respect? You have to always capitalize. Okay, the first letter. If you write a small letter, dear sir, then that shows that you are not respecting. So, dear madam, keep a capital M. So, this is how you have to write. And even in the complimentary clause at the end of the letter, you should say yours faithfully, yours faithfully, yours sincerely. The Y, yours, Y should be capitalized. Okay, so remember all these things where you have to capitalize the letters. Right? Now let's come to the next one, that is hyphen. Where to use hyphen? A small dash. Right? So whenever we are using a compound word like ex-minister, otherwise co-education, right? We can say semi-skilled worker, semi-skilled worker. So whenever there is a compound words like this, we are supposed to use hyphen in between these two words. Also we use for mother-in-law, right? Even here we use it. So next, where do we use? We also use in numbers. Compound word numbers from 21 to 99, when we use it as he is a 24-year-old boy, man. He is a 24-year-old man, right? So here also we use a hyphen. So any number from 21 to 99, we use hyphens in between. Next, we use in between the compound words for a fraction. For example, if I say 1/3, 2/3, 3/4, right? For fractions we use hyphens. So next one, to indicate some range of numbers. For example, if I say from number 1 to 7, from 1 to 7 it indicates the first class students, from 8th to 14th, 14. So it indicates a range from 1 to 7, first class, 8 to 14, second class, okay, or you can give grading. So by indicating the range, we can use hyphens. Again we can use hyphens to show the duration or period of time, okay, especially in literature part, where we indicate the author's date of birth, the year of birth and the year of death, by saying that so and so author has born in 1893 and died in 1974. So this is how we indicate about the author's period of time. So here also we can use a hyphen. Okay, so these are the places we use hyphen. Now let's understand where we use apostrophe. Where do we use apostrophe? First one, it is used to indicate possessions. Okay, possessions means if I say this is my pen. Okay, so it is possession. If I say this pen belongs to someone else, for example, Rahul's pen. So it is showing possession. The pen belongs to Rahul. So to say that this is Rahul's pen, so this is a singular. Okay, when we put an apostrophe and then S followed by S, then it is singular. It is indicating singular possession. Okay, you can also say this is Radhika's book. This is Radhika's book. So that book belongs to Radhika. Possession, right? Next, where else we use? We can also use, these are used as singulars to show it is singular, one person. Okay, whereas we can also show it as plurals. How? For example, when we use apostrophe after S, okay, to show it is singular, we have to use before S. The apostrophe is used before S to show it as a singular. When we are showing it as a plural, then we have to put the apostrophe after S. Cloud's movement, right? So this is how we have to use in plurals after S, in singulars before S. Fine. Where else we use? In contractions. So these are all used to indicate possessions. Now we can use in contraction also. Where do we do the contraction? So whenever we say cannot, do not, we use don't. Cannot, we use can't. So whenever we contract the words, two words with not, we will always use this contraction by using a apostrophe, right? We also say shouldn't. For should not, we use the contraction shouldn't. So whenever we use this, we have to use a apostrophe here also. Next, again we can use to indicate is. If I say it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. What do you mean by this? This is it is. It is indicating it is. It is so beautiful. So even is being contracted. Okay. So for other example, if I say it's 6 legs, is it sensing? So what is here? It's so beautiful. It is. Now here it's 6 leg. And what does this mean? It is. It has. So it has got 6 legs. Maybe here got. Okay. So it's got 6 legs. It is not sensing at all. So here the meaning of it's here is has. So based on the sentences, we have to understand whether this short form it's is whether it is or whether it has. Okay. So it is so beautiful. It has got 6 legs. Okay. So based on the situation sentence, we have to check whether this is or has. Right. So this is how we can contract using a apostrophe. Now let's go to the next punctuation. Yes, word punctuation. What are they? Capitals, hyphen and apostrophe. Now let's go to the internal punctuation. Right? Let's understand what are the internal punctuation marks. So you have comma, you have semicolon, you have colon, inverted commas. We can also say it is quotation marks. So inverted commas are nothing but quotation marks. You have ellipses. Okay. So here in internal punctuation you have 5 punctuation marks. So word punctuation means punctuation within a word. Now what is internal punctuation? These are the punctuations within a sentence. From the starting end till ending of that sentence, you find all such types of punctuation marks. Now let's understand where we use commas. So commas are used to differentiate the items. If I say Radha has gone to shop to purchase milk, bread, jam, sugar, etc. So how do you use that? Whenever you use many different items, for example, sugar, milk, jam, butter and bread, right? When you use so many items, we are supposed to differentiate with a comma so that we understand that they are all different items, right? Again, when do we use commas? To differentiate a relative clause, okay? A relative clause. For example, if I say Chennai, a metropolitan city, suffers severe scarcity of water, right? So if I say Chennai, a metropolitan city, suffers severe scarcity of water. Now what do you mean by this? I have put a comma here and here. So here this is the relative clause. Actually without this relative clause also you can just write Chennai suffers severe scarcity of water, right? That is the main important clause which we are supposed to tell. But we are giving an extra information, a metropolitan city, which is not required also. So for making this separately, the relative clause, we use a comma, right? So again, where do we use commas? While using in your letter writing, while you use salutation, when you say dear madam, dear sir, you're supposed to put a comma after that. And even in the complimentary clause also, you say yours faithfully, you have to put a comma here. So in letter writing you're supposed to use it. And while letter writing only, in mentioning your address, how do you write address? You write your name, after that you write your house number, right? And if you have any other small information like street number or road number, so you write street number 9. So to differentiate the house number with the street number, you should put a comma. At the end of the address in that line, you are not supposed to use commas, okay? Again, when you write your colony name, for example, RV colony, and here itself if you want to write the area name, saying whatever, Kotapet, so you have to put a comma to differentiate the colony with the area name. Okay, this is how you have to use commas while writing address. Next, while using adverbs, for example, if I say suddenly I was afraid, okay, you can also write fortunately, okay. So all any words ending with ly, adverbs, you can use comma. And even connectives, when you use connectives, for example, in the first paragraph you start firstly something happened, next paragraph you will write secondly, comma, next paragraph, in the third paragraph again you will write thirdly. So even for these connectives we are supposed to use comma. Then at the end of the paragraph you say finally this happened, right? So for all these connectives also we are supposed to use commas. Then next, where do we use commas? While differentiating name with their designation. If I say Vijay Kumar, IAS, okay, so name, you are differentiating name with the designation here. You have to put a comma. So these are the places where you are supposed to use commas, right? Now next, let's understand semicolon. Where do we use semicolon? So the punctuation mark is this, semicolon. Where do we use? When there is a list, a big list, for example, from our college, few students have been selected for some game, to attend a game. So if I say the following students were selected, and if I say, for example, Ram from inter first year, okay, first year, then Rahul second year, then Sampath again first year. So if I write a list of 3-4 students' name along with their classes also, first year or second year, then I can't just separate them everything with commas, because this two information belongs to one. This two is one information. So we have to differentiate with a semicolon, right? So these two are one information. So when we differentiate the informations, we have to use semicolons in between, right? Next, when semicolon comes between main clause, when you have a connective, okay, between main clause, when you have connectives like therefore, however, moreover, besides. So whenever you have such type of connectives in between main clause, then you have to use semicolon. For example, if I say it is a big mistake, it is a big mistake, however, you are excused, right? So it is a big mistake, semicolon, however, you are excused. So in between two main clauses, you use a connective, however. So before connective, you are supposed to use the semicolon, right? So this is where you have to use semicolons. Now let's understand colons. When do we use colons? For writing side headings. Usually in annotations, you write side headings saying introduction, explanation, conclusion. So in such side headings, we use colons, right? Again, when we say that I required the following items, these are the following items required. So whenever you say that following items or requirements, then again we use colon, and now we list out all the items. So in these two things we use colons. One is side headings, one is to say the following items we require, right? So next one after this is inverted commas. So we also call it as quotation marks, right? We call this as quotation mark. Where do we use quotation marks? This is again very important. So we use quotation marks especially in direct speech. We use in direct speech. When, for example, if I say the teacher said, she said, prepare well for your exam, right? Prepare well for the exam. So the teacher or she said, okay. So even comma should be used in direct speech, okay. Comma is also used in direct speech, don't forget that. After she said, you have to use a comma, and what is her dialogue, what she told in the direct speech, you have to put it in inverted commas, okay. These inverted commas could be single or double, because single usually Britishers use, double quotations Americans use it, but now commonly we can use whatever single quotations or double quotations. So it is used in direct speech, and we also use quotation marks to highlight something. For example, in our annotations we write this line is taken from, we write the lesson name or the poem name, isn't it? So poem name should be in inverted commas. Also we can write the poet name. The poet name also could be in inverted commas. Or any quotations. Any quotations given by great people also can be put in quotations marks. So quotation marks or inverted commas are used for all these things, right? Next, ellipses. What is ellipsis? Ellipses are 3 dots. 3 dots. Why do we use these ellipses? First one, when we are talking about something, for example, if I say, you know everything about it, but I am just reminding you, if I say, this is the accident which was horrible, okay, it is an accident which was horrible, okay, it is an accident which was horrible, and I just put a 3 dots, ellipsis. That means you know the rest of the story, what happened, okay. So when the other person knows about it, no need to repeat it again. In such situation we use ellipses, right. So these are the internal punctuation which we use, that is in between the sentence, right. Now let's understand what are the end punctuation. Let us understand end punctuation. You have 3 end punctuation marks. What are they? Very easy to identify. First one, it's a full stop, right? Where do we use full stop? Full stops are used for at the end of a sentence. This is my pen, full stop. I use it daily, full stop. So at the end of any sentence, we use full stop. It is a long pause. Otherwise, commas are short pause. And semicolons are longer than commas, okay, longer pause than comma. And this is a long pause. So to separate each sentence. And so to end a sentence we use full stop. Again, where do we use? We use full stop in abbreviations. Abbreviations like if I say MLA, we use full stop in between. If I say IAS, we use full stop between abbreviation. Again, where do we use full stops? We also use in showing the time. If for example it is 10:30 a.m., we use full stop. And we also use in date to say that this is 17th March, right? So only to differentiate the date, time, we use dots, okay, for abbreviations. At end of every sentence we use full stop. Next, what is the next end punctuation? It is question mark. When do we use question mark? It is used in interrogative sentences. All interrogative sentences we use question mark whenever we use WH words. So whenever we use WH words to ask any question for which we are looking for an answer, to get an information. So whenever we use WH words to get some information, we have to use question mark. What is your name? From where did you come? Can you do this work? Even with helping verbs also we can use question mark, okay. Where else we can use? Other than interrogative sentences, we can also use in question tags. We use question marks in question tags. For example, if I say he is coming, what is the question tag? Isn't he? Question. So we use question tag, question mark even in the question tags, right? So question marks are used in interrogative sentences and question tags. So third, end punctuation. So end punctuation, you have exclamatory mark, exclamation mark. What is this? When do we use exclamation? Whenever you want to show your emotional feelings like joy, sorrow, anger, surprise. So all such type of emotional feelings you have to use exclamation mark. For example, if I say, if I'm surprised, if I say wow, we use this. Even for interjection we use it. For exclamatory sentences we use it. Or for example, if I say, what a beautiful place it is. What a beautiful place. So for exclamatory sentences we use exclamation mark. When we use interjection, wow, alas, alas is for sorrow, wow is for surprise, hurrah is for joy. So for interjections and exclamatory sentences we use exclamation mark. Okay, hope you understood. Now how to answer in your examination. So let's check that also. Let's do few exercises to understand how to answer in your examination. So first one, you will get questions like this without any punctuation. You have to go through the sentence carefully, understand and mark the punctuations. So always remember, the first letter should be capitalized, and at the end of the sentence you have to put a full stop mark, right? For this you will get 1 mark. So never forget, whenever you are given single lines for punctuating, always the first letter should be capitalized, the last after the sentence you have to put a full stop, for which you will get 1 mark, because each punctuation carries half mark. Okay, so for this too you will get 1 mark. So never miss this, right? So you have to always rewrite the sentence in your examination paper, answer sheet, right? So put your first serial number, then write capital G, write the entire sentence. Here we have got a compound word. So in between non and violence you have to put a hyphen. Okay, so don't put above the word, you have to rewrite it. So you have to write here non-violence. Okay, then after movement you have to put a full stop, right? For this you will get 1.5 mark. Next, again the first letter should be capitalized. T should be capitalized. These are my father-in-law's clothes. Again you found a compound word here, father-in-laws. So you have to hyphen here, put hyphen marks. And then father-in-laws, you have to put a apostrophe. Okay, because this is singular, only one father-in-law. So you have to make it singular by using a apostrophe before the S. Okay, so these are my father-in-law's clothes. At the end of the sentence, you have to put a full stop. Next, Hemant said, where are you going? So what did you understand by this sentence? Hemant said, where are you going? So you are able to find that this is a direct speech. So the first letter always should be capitalized. So H is capitalized. Hemant said, because it is direct speech, you have to use a comma here and an inverted comma. Okay, put a full stop. And whenever you write in inverted commas, the first letter again should be capitalized. So here where, W will be capitalized. Fine. So how many marks you have mentioned here? 1, 2, 3, inverted comma 4 and full stop 5. 2.5 marks you will get here itself. Okay, so be keen, understand the sentence and check whether you have punctuated correctly or not. Now let's see the next one. What a wonderful experience it was. So what it is showing? It is giving some wonderful experience. So this is something related to exclamation. So it's an exclamatory sentence. So always the first letter should be capitalized. What a wonderful experience it was. Okay, because this is what? WH word. It doesn't mean that it is an interrogative question. It is not asking for any answer. What a wonderful experience it was. Okay, it is not saying what a wonderful experience was it. It is not a question, interrogative sentence. It is an exclamatory mark. So you have to place an exclamatory mark. Okay, for this you will get 1 mark. Here capitalized, here exclamatory mark. That's it. Now let's see, in case in your examination, if a small paragraph is given, then how will you punctuate this? Here, always start with a capital letter. Okay, that you should not forget. Now here, 2. Okay. 2 weeks ago, I was amused. So what did you find here? I, the pronoun. So whenever you find I, the pronoun in the middle of the sentence, you have to capitalize. So I is always capital in the middle of the sentence. 2 weeks ago, I was amused when a friend who couldn't bear to sleep alone woke me up close to midnight at the hotel into which we had checked in. So already full stop is given. So this is a whole one sentence. Okay. So did you find any other? Already comma is also given here. So if it is given, fine. You can understand the sentence better. Okay. So 2 weeks ago I was amused when a friend who couldn't bear. So are you able to find a contraction here? A word got contraction? Couldn't. So what we have to do? For couldn't, we should always keep a apostrophe in between N and T, right? Then did you find any other punctuation marks? Couldn't bear to sleep alone, woke me up close to midnight at the hotel into which we had checked in. So there is no other punctuation marks here. Now let's see the last line. Can we hire a double room? I am totally spooked, comma, she said. Okay, usually at the end also they will not give a full stop. If they are given, fine. If they don't give, you have to put a full stop here also, right? Now here let's understand. It's looking like as if it is in direct speech. She said. So this is, the last line is in direct speech. So from where she said, can we hire a double room? I am totally spooked. So here from can to room is one sentence. You put this full stop here. So because after full stop you should always capitalize the first letter. So can is capitalized. So can we hire a double room? I am totally. So I am. I in the middle of the sentence or at the starting of this sentence after full stop, it should be capitalized. It's a short form. So you have to put an apostrophe. I am totally spooked, she said. So because this is a direct speech, you have to put the entire sentence in inverted commas. Fine. This is how you are supposed to punctuate. Hope you understood all the three types of punctuation: the word punctuation, internal punctuation and end punctuation. Please go through your textbook. It is clearly mentioned. It has been explained clearly in your textbook. And do all the exercises. If you practice, it is very easy. And please, in your real life also, whenever you write anything, you have to use the punctuation marks to give a meaningful sentence. So prepare well for your exams. All the best. Thank you.
Addod Solutions. Add-on desired.